This is Fastlane Daily Show 999, the one before the big one on Monday. The only thing I know related to 999 in racing is Henry Ford's race car, named and numbered the 999. It wasn't the first race car, but when built and run in 1902 to 1904, it was one of the first famous race cars. And the perfect car to launch a couple of stories we'll cover in today's Shakedown. The Ford 999 was a four-cylinder, open-wheel car. Sound familiar? In 2013, F1 will be four-cylinder engines only. But where the 4 in the 999 was 18.8 liters and produced only 70 horsepower, 110 years later, F1's 4 will be 1.6 liter, and combined with energy recovery technologies, it'll pump out 750 horsepower. Think about this. At 1.6 liters each, all 24 GP cars would have a combined displacement of 38.4 liters and a cumulative 18,000 horsepower. Two 999s would have near identical displacement of 37.6 liters, but deliver only 140 combined horsepower, coming up some 17,860 horsepower short. And there really were two 999s built and raced. The sister car was called the Arrow. When both cars were sold, the new owner renamed the Arrow the new 999. And that factoid of confusion, two race cars with the same name, made me realize we better discuss the Lotus situation still brewing in F1. All that plus a detailed look at the mega evil Audi R18 LMP car. Oh, and this. Viewer KChem wrote last week about me talking too fast. Quote, Leo should do a show drunk. Maybe. I know one guy that tried it. Let's see how that worked out.
In one of my many press conferences and...
no drinking. You guys just need to listen faster. KERS is back in 2011 to restart F1's relevance with green performance technology. In 2013, F1 announced its biggest ever step forward. But if you stop your thinking when you hear four-cylinder engines only revving 12,000 RPM, not the current 18,000, you'll be missing the fun to come. Listen to what the Cosworth bloke says about the new rules.
A set of regulations which are based around a very small number of fixed points and encourage innovation, we will really electrify the sport. And I think the small number of fixed points that are being discussed at the moment are to limit the amount of fuel and to limit the maximum fuel flow and give complete freedom to innovate in the areas of capturing waste energy off the car.
We're talking mega high-tech stuff here, not just turbocharging, turbo compounding, multiple chargers to capture and compress energy, maybe even via an electric generator. Heat exchangers that extract energy from exhaust gases and feed power back into the engine or transmission. And super high pressure direct injection, up to 500 bars. That's 500 times normal air pressure to eke out even more power per liter of fuel. And of course KERS, plus biofuels like E85, or more exotic knowing F1. And at the end of it all, the combined power will still be the current 750 horsepower. But fuel use is cut 35%, the budget is cut 25%, and here comes the cool part. Because the total fuel provided will also be cut, engineers know that drag will have to be reduced. Smaller wings, less turbulence, and more chance to get cars closer together to pass without aero interruption. Plus, with more KERS available, drivers will have a stronger push-to-pass tool to use. But what about sound? Have we lost the F1 roar? Well, first, frequency, not peak revs or cylinder counts, determine engine sound. And second, the heat exchangers will act like big resonators, giving the engineers the opportunity to tune the engine pitch. 1.6 liter, that's two 800cc MotoGP bikes. JF, cue up the Moto Monkey and play the soundtrack. Everything will be fine on engine sound. Okay, Lotus. Remember this moment? Will there be a Lotus name in F1 next year? What Danny Bahar didn't say is that Oprah's running this mess.
Hey, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3. You get a car! 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 You get a car!
You get a Lotus. You get a Lotus. Okay, what Danny Bahar really didn't say was the deal was really cut with the mysterious Genai Capital, not Renault. And Genai is offering up funding and commercial opportunities to Group Lotus. We followed up with Lotus to learn that A, they say they had the black and gold idea before the other team, but Fernandez announced it first for public positioning. And B, regardless of the court outcome, if there are two Lodi teams, there will be no tech, no marketing collaboration. Now I know what I think, but what do you think? Are two Lotus teams, one black and one green, okay? And if two, which one gets your support? Or is it time for the kids to grow up and decide on only one Lotus? The Audi R18. Hey, the Green Hornet has a new car, and I say that because if ugly Seth Rogen can be a superhero, his car should be ugly too. But really, this Audi is awesome. The fin is mandated for safety, but Audi used it for a cleaner aero central wing mount. Can an F-duct be far behind? And the roof intake suggests the turbo for the 3.7-liter 6 sits in the V of the engine for packaging. Rear tires are mounted on the front to get the most from the prodigious front downforce this car will make. And since Le Mans rules are encouraging hybrid green tech, and there may be advantages, this is my conjecture. What if this Audi became a Quattro and used sister Porsche's flywheel to front electric motors and really put those big tires to use? I say cool. Websites Mulsanne's Corner and Scarb's F1 have a ton of tech details. The links will be in the YouTube comments section. Now to close, our respects on the passing of Tom Walkinshaw. So many successes in his career, like helping Schumi win at Benetton. And most famous maybe for his work with Jaguar, bringing them back to Le Mans with the historic 1988 1-2-3 win. To honor him, here's Tom the Racer putting his Jag through the paces at Bathurst and Mount Panorama. Peace.
And listen to that Jaguar snarl its way to the top of the mountain.
He's giving it plenty again. You can hear the engine. It's not blipping. He's put his foot down. He knows where he wants to go. Here he is, sliding, using every bit of the road and not being afraid to hound it through here. It's particularly nerving there. It's very easy to make a mistake, but he's giving it its all. He's showing us that here's one Englishman that's not afraid of this Aussie mountain.
Oh, checking the halfway time at Castrol, the top of the mountain. This could be very, very sensational.
We'll take race cam again. We're riding with Tom Walkinshaw for the James Hardy 1000 tomorrow. Look at him at work, the steering wheel.
A current F1 engine's ratio of power for amount of fuel used is allegedly better than a Toyota Prius. But to continue to burn 150 kilos of fuel per car per race, plus practice and qualifying consumption, is clearly not the right future. I trust technology. It'll keep the racing good.